Hello everyone and welcome to another game I played on PTCGO. This time I'm going to be playing with a tier 3 deck that I haven't used at all in the past. It's Dusknoir, Empleon, and Landorus. I figured it might be a good time to try it, seeing that Darkrai is once again all over the format and Landorus is pretty effective against that. So I'm going to start off with a mulligan. As you can see, for my second one, I start off with Piplup and Landorus. I'm going to start off with Landorus, hoping my opponent doesn't start off with a water type, which are pretty common in the format nowadays. So let's see what the head flip results. It's a tails, and I go first. So my opponent starts off with Sawk, the one with Kick of Righteousness, which is sort of an anti-plasma card. So I'm wondering if this is just an anti-meta deck, in which case I'm sort of happy, since I think I'd do well against that. So I'm going to N and just attach a blend to my Landorus and Hammerhead for 30. Still not sure what kind of deck my opponent's playing. He puts down a Sky Arrow Bridge, so not too indicative of what he's trying to do. But anyway, just waiting to see what he ultimately intends on doing. So as a newer card in this deck, I also have Execute to abuse with Diving Draw, which lets you discard a card from your hand and draw 2, and if that card's Execute, you can use Propagate to bring it back from your discard pile pretty much at will. So it's a nice combination. So here my opponent Ultra Balls for a Virizion, so this is probably a Genesect Virizion, or maybe, I don't know, just a Virizion teched in to a different type of deck. And then they're going to Juniper. So still curious, but I do see a Grass Energy in the discard pile, so that probably leads me to believe this is Genesect Virizion and not something else. So I'm just zooming in here on Landorus. So as I was saying, it's really unfortunate though if you end up starting with Execute, since it only has 30 HP and it gets knocked out by just about everything nowadays. So I get a rare candy into an Empleon. I get to attach a Water Energy. Here I'm debating whether or not I should Chorus, but at first I'm going to Diving Draw, discarding a Water Energy. I managed to get a Duskull. I'm going to put that down on the bench, seeing how it'll be helpful for two reasons. I can evolve into Dusknoir easier, and I can add to Diving Draw's attack power that way. So my opponent's going to play a Town Map, revealing more Grass Energy and a Team Plasma Ball, so I'm pretty sure this is Genesect Virizion at this point. He's going to promote his Virizion and attach in the Grass Energy. Then he will Bianca. So this turn he'll be able to hit me for 50, and with his attack he'll be able to attach 2 energies to one of his benched Pokemon, and I'm pretty sure that'll be Virizion. Doesn't make sense to attach 2 Grass Energies to Sawk, and he does just that. So my turn, I'm really hoping I can get Dusknoir into play, so I'm going to Diving Draw, getting rid of a switch. Unfortunately, I do not get Dusknoir, but I do get a Floatstone. I'm going to attach that to Landorus, just in case I need it. And here I'm going to play Chorus. It'll make my hand size identical, but hopefully I'll get something different. I don't get anything all that helpful, at least. So I'm just going to Hammerhead the active for 30 and hit the benched Virizion for 30. So with Landorus, you hope to build damage all across the board, and then eventually move it around with Dusknoir. So you can just take knockouts with with Attack Command, which does 10 times 10 for each Pokemon in the field. So my opponent's going to Scrapper away my Floatstone and hit my active for 50. He doesn't attach any Grass Energy onto any Pokemon because it really doesn't make sense. Here I'm going to Diving Draw, getting rid of another Water Energy. I get a Level Ball, which I can use to get out another Piplup. I think I could go for Execute, which I'm looking for, but it looks like it's prized. So I'm going to just go for Piplup, put it down, attach a Water to it so I can have a steady stream of them ready. That's sort of what slows this deck down, since Piplup is fairly fragile, and being weak to lightning makes it perfect bait for Thundurus to knock out. So once again, I'm just going to Hammerhead the active for 30 and the bench for 30. And my opponent returns a favor, just hitting me for 50. So in one more turn, I'll be knocked out. I get an N, and I'm going to use it. I get a Hypnotoxic Laser, which is useless in this matchup thanks to Virizion's ability, but I can use it to anything that doesn't have a grass energy attached to it, so I'm not ready to discard it quite yet, but I'm going to Diving Draw. I'm debating whether or not what to get rid of exactly, and I'm going to go for the Tool Scrapper. So that play right there is ultimately going to come back to haunt me. I should have gotten rid of the Hypnotoxic Laser, but I got rid of that Tool Scrapper, and that was a huge mistake, but I didn't realize it at the time. I'm going to Hammerhead for 30 again and hit the bench for 30. So right now there's a lot of damage on the board. Each one of his benched has heavy damage, as does his active. So if I can get Dusknoir into play, I can do a lot of get multiple knockouts in one turn potentially. So his bench Virizion is down to 80, and he does put down a Genesect now. So he can Leap Wallop, I believe is the attack, or no, sorry, Emerald Slash. That's another Virizion, and attach 2 energies to that Genesect, which will be kind of scary. He attaches 1 energy from the hand. He's going to Chorus Machine onto this Genesect. So now he has 2 energy on it already. It's a little bit scary. But will he attack with it? That's the big question. He can't knock me out, at least not my active. Well, he can knock it out, but it won't do any difference to knock it out with Genesect versus Virizion. And he's going to take the knockout here, attach to his benched, and I'm going to promote my Empleon. So here I can attack command for 80, which I think will be enough for the knockout. Then I get that Emolga, putting it down, so my attack will do 90. But first I'm going to Diving Draw, this time getting rid of the laser, which is a smarter play. I get an Empleon, so I'll evolve that, and get a second Emolga. So now my bench is full, and I'll be able to do a lot more damage this way. So now I'm up to 100. If only I can move that damage around, I could make more efficient use of the damage on the field. Actually, I only do 80 because he has resistance. I keep on forgetting that. So I'm going to take 2 prizes, and now we're tied, but I do get my Execute off of this. So this will be useful. I won't be forced to discard important cards anymore. My opponent now puts down a second Genesect, and he promoted Virizion.
So he'll be able to start powering up this bench Genesect. But first he's going to Super Rod some grass energy back into his deck, probably because he's fresh out or running low. Let's see what he's going to do. Looks like he first had actually attached manually another energy to his bench Genesect. And I'm still waiting to see what his play is. But first he's going to Skyla, so it looks like he's actually going to go after a Duskull. So this is really going to hurt me. He's going to Skyla for Catcher, get a Duskull, and with that he'll be able to hit it for 50 and the knockout. This is really going to damper my ability to move damage around, but he also attaches a G-Booster this turn. So this is why I shouldn't have got rid of that Tool Scrapper. With G-Booster he can hit me for 200 and only needs to discard 2 energy off of Genesect. So that's really gonna allow him to knock anything out, which is kind of unfortunate. So after the Duskull goes to the discard, I'm going to promote an Empleon. Here I'm going to Diving Draw, discarding my Execute, and I get a Landorus off of that. I'm debating whether or not to put that down, because I really want that bench space for Duskull, but I may or may not draw that anytime soon. So I'm going to Super Rod, Duskull, a Landorus, and a Water Energy back into my deck first, and then I'm going to Diving Draw again, getting rid of a Water Energy. I could have used Propagation to bring back Execute, but I really wanted to thin my deck out in case he used N. I get a Prinplup, which I'm going to use to evolve my bench Piplup. And here, I guess I'm going to play down my Landorus. I'm trying to get my hand down and see if powering up Landorus will potentially get me the win if I can use Land's Judgment. So I'm going to attach a Fighting Energy onto it, attach to Floatstone onto Empleon. I'm going to Catcher up a Genesect, and then I'm going to Juniper. So just to thin my hand down and increase the odds. So I didn't actually draw a Duskull, but I did draw a level ball. So if you knock something out, I have a Duskull and a Dusknoir in hand, but I do not have the rare candy. But I am going to burn that level ball just to increase my odds of getting it, and it looks like the program is stalling out. It's been doing that lately. But now it finally gives me that Duskull. So here I'm going to use attack command, hit the active for 100, and let's see what my opponent does. So right now, because of Sky Arrow being in play, all of his Pokemon can actually retreat for free, which is going to give him the advantage all around, essentially. Looks like he attaches another energy to his bench Genesect, the one with G-Booster, so now it has a total of 4 energy attached to it, so he's obviously going to attack with it. He promotes Genesect, and with G-Booster he'll be able to hit me for 200 and the knockout, but he'll have to discard 2 energy in order to do so. So I really wish I had that tool scrapper at this point. I'm here just zooming in on Genesect. Its ability, Red Signal, also is useful. It functions like a catcher when you attach a plasma energy onto Genesect, but does not work when you do that via Colress machine. So it has to be directly from the hand. Here he gets a knockout. I promote my other Empleon, and I'm not sure what the best play here is. I do have a catcher, so I can try to pull something out here. I'm going to put a Duskull on the bench, evolve my Empleon. I can diving draw here. I don't really know what I'd be hoping to get, but I do want to play that end now. So he can take the win next turn if he has a catcher and he has a grass energy. So I need to end him down to 2 cards so that I can avoid him having those 2 cards in hand. So I'm going to burn my hand down. So I'm going to play that catcher potentially. It looks like. No, first I'm going to attach a energy onto Landorus, and then I'm going to play that catcher, bring up the bench Genesect just so I can get a knockout on it. I'm going to end myself to 4 cards. Again, I don't have that rare candy I wanted, but I will be able to diving draw to see if I can hit it and get rid of a laser. I don't hit the rare candy. It would really be useful now, but I'm going to propagate and diving draw a second time. So here I get that rare candy, but I still have to wait the turn. So if I can make it past this turn, I will have game thanks to Dusknoir and my ability to move damage around. So my opponent's going to promote Genesect with the G-Booster, and I'm going to take 2 prizes, so we're tied at this point. So if he has a catcher and a grass energy, he has game, and I will be disappointed. But it looks like he doesn't have a catcher, but he has a plasma energy, so that will function like a catcher. So he can bring up Landorus, and if he has well, he has that energy now, so plasma energy will allow him to take 200 damage and the knockout. So thank you guys for watching. Fairly close game with a underrated tier 3 deck that can still do some heavy damage. Thanks for watching.